So this might be a long video, but Zack Snyder uploaded this image on his Vero account, causing a lot of havoc across the pro-Snyderverse fans and the anti-Snyderverse fans. And we're going to be going into it, diving it deep. So this might be a very long video, depending on how long I have to go. But as someone who's been a major part of the Snyder Cut fandom, as someone who, as someone who's been very vocal, and you guys know the main reason why my channel ever grew was because of the Snyder Cut and releasing the Snyder. I mean, just look at my background. And we got my boy Black Suit Superman right there protecting us here on today's video. But because I'm a big part of this community, or I'm not what I meant to say is I massively am part of the community, but no one really knows. I'm a small YouTuber, just ignore what I just said. But anyways, today we're going to be discussing the cryptic message that a lot of people claim that this is maybe him hinting towards Justice League Part 2 and 3. But whatever it is, we're going to go deep into it. Now, this video was inspired by my friends Mad Max at Movie Madness and Entertainment, RJ from Resident Justice, and Enosh from Poindexter Lounge. 3 channels that I really respect and admire. I think they're all great and wonderful people, and I want to thank both Max and Enosh for allowing me on their streams, although I didn't really get to say much, but on those streams. So the big debate was the whole cryptic message, and that's actually the main reason why I'm even making this video. But before we start off today's video, y'all make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. That way you can be notified if you continue on the channel. My name is Isaac, and I'm the host for your multiverse of movies. And thank you once again, Black Suit Superman over here protecting us in the multiverse of movies. Go buy some merchandise, link description down below, and it helps support the channel. And also comment down below after the video and let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. On the comment section down below. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with what I'm going to say, because I am kind of in the middle of this. So first off, let me give you guys some context. So Zack Snyder uploaded this image again. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen again. And it was this message, he's like, happy Thanksgiving, and it's to anyone who isn't part of the community, or anyone who really just, let's say you're somebody who doesn't care about movies, or you've never seen a Snyder movie, you don't even know who Zack Snyder is, and you're probably just watching this clip out of context, and you're there like, oh, some guy's just showing his turkey, the turkey he made. But the Snyder fandom, the community as a whole, we all noticed the back, and you saw a book with a folder, and the book, it wasn't just no ordinary book. This wasn't your Dune book. This wasn't Great Gatsby. This wasn't anything like that. This wasn't the Bible, although some DC fans could say it is. But it was Final Crisis, and it's DC property, and obviously we know Zack Snyder, his most popular films are all DC films. A lot of DC fans are DC fans because of Snyder, and a lot of DC fans, including me, I include myself in this little part, I think Snyder has created the best DC stories ever. My favorite movie of all time is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll admit that right now cold-heartedly. A lot of Snyder fans started saying this is Zack Snyder's little way of teasing that Justice League Part 2 and 3 could eventually happen. And you're probably thinking, what? But those are just books in the background. Why would he think that? Why would people even consider that? The reason why is because Zack Snyder in the past has done these little cryptic messages where he'll be very subtle about hinting towards something. Like when the Snyder Cut was coming out, the Snyder Cut, he was subtly hinting at things, and then it began to more things and more, and then eventually we started getting full on images. Then it was some, some, what are those boxes called? Concept arts, stuff like that. We started getting more and more of that, and obviously we eventually led up to where we are now, where you can obviously now go anywhere in your stores, Target, Walmart, any movie shop, and you can go get yourself a Blu-ray 4K regular DVD version of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which came out a long time ago. Not long ago. It's not even been a year, so I shouldn't even be saying that, but as Snyder fans, we are very aware of how Zack can be very subtle. He can be very hinty, and I like that about him. But there's another side of this too. A lot of people are saying, a lot of people are, not a lot, but look, let me just address this. This whole debate between whether Snyder fans are toxic or not is a very stupid debate, because look, every community out there has its toxicity. Marvel fans have their toxicity. Lord of the Rings fans have their toxicity. Heck, even James Bond fans have toxicity. I mean, remember when Daniel Craig first got casted, nobody wanted him because of his hair color. Yeah, that happened. His hair color was an issue to James Bond fans. Every fandom has it. And look, I'll be right now. I've called out a lot of Snyder fans. I think as a, as my channel, the main thing most people know me as is Snyder stuff. As a Snyder YouTuber, someone who's part of the community, I directly have called out a lot of people, and I do believe it is our job to call it out. Because the only way a community can improve is by understanding that it's there, acknowledging its existence, and doing something about it. And I do say that to all my Snyder YouTubers who are watching this video. I always ask you guys to please call it out. But it's not just Snyder fans. It's Marvel fans. It's DC Comics fans. A lot of DC comic fans criticize me for praising Zack's work. I've been criticized for stupid things in the past. Even Snyder fans have attacked me. When I praised James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, I was being told I was betraying the fandom and how I'm not being true and faithful. And look, in the past, I have done stupid things, but that's not the point. But there is this side saying, Snyder is just rallying up the fans. Also, I hate the term "the fans." There really isn't a term for the fans. The fans is way too vague of a term, by the way. Let me just put that out there right now. But there is a fandom, and RJ, who I mentioned earlier, he did bring this up. He was saying, how this is causing the toxic side to rally up, start telling people that this is confirming the Snyderverse is being restored. And I'm kind of in the middle of it, because Enosh and Max are both saying, why can't DC fans just speculate like Marvel fans got to? Because, look, I hate this whole fan base war. I love Marvel and DC. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these weird nerds argue. Even in my personal life, I remember I was once called a bandwagon because when I went to go watch Avengers Endgame for the first time, I was wearing an Avengers shirt. But that day my hair was messy and I took a Batman hat. And I remember one of my friends who came with me, he was calling me a bandwagon. I'm like, it's movies. How can you be a bandwagon? This ain't sports, bruh. This ain't sports, cuz. But anyways, sorry for my yelling. But what ended up happening, there was this massive debate. And I'm going to put the links to the two streams I was in. It was Movie Madness Entertainment and Enosh's, so you guys can go check out those streams. I was in it for a little bit, so you guys will be able to see what I didn't really get to give my opinions on the whole topic, but do I think this is Zack's way of saying that the Snyderverse is going to be restored soon, or Justice League Part 2 and 3 are happening? That's not the question I want to ask. The question that we should ask ourselves as a Snyder fandom is it possible that the Snyderverse will be restored? And my answer to that is there isn't an answer. Now, let's put this out. Let's put this factual evidence right now. This restoring the Snyderverse, Justice League Part 2 and Part 3, is a completely different story from releasing the Snyder Cut. Because, you see me back there. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse, baby. But the Snyder Cut was a film that was already filmed. We already had some VFX. In fact, some of it was even put in Justice League 2017. And that was already filmed. All he had to do was come in, finish the VFX, finish the editing, and it was only like around 70 to 80 million, probably more, probably less, I don't remember, but it was probably obviously more than likely more. And it was finishing that, adding a couple of scenes, and yes, that's hard in and of itself, obviously, but the Snyderverse is now a completely different topic, because now it's 2 movies, maybe even more, 2 full-on films. Now, this is obviously standard Hollywood. Standard Hollywood is you've got to make a movie and it costs you a ton of money. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that the smart thing to do is to put it all on HBO Max. Let me tell you this right now. If you were to restore the Snyderverse, it would never go on HBO Max. I mean, yes, after the theatrical release, but anyone who knows movies understands that you cannot be profitable on solely streaming services. Obviously, things can change within 5 years, but if I'm Warner Bros., Discovery, whatever happens, my first idea is theatrical, because that's where the money is made. That's where the money's made. Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, those movies obviously made a lot more than Zack Snyder's Justice League ever did, because of the theatrical release. And I'm also a big proponent of the theatrical release. So, with that being said, the question now has to be asked, what is this toxic side? Because a lot of people claim that the toxic side is hashtag restore Snyderverse. And look, I've been attacked by toxic fans in the past. Again, the whole debacle that happened with me on this channel, I praise James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Now, yes, I praise it a lot. I think the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, to me, is my third favorite DC movie, and it is my favorite non-Snyder directed DC movie. I think it's better than Man of Steel. I think it's better than Wonder Woman. I don't think it's better than Batman vs Superman, and I don't think it's better than Justice League Zack Snyder version. But I remember I praised it, and I got a lot of hate. I got a lot of messages. I got a lot of people telling me that I'm betraying the fandom and I'm not doing, because I put myself in this position. I want to be a channel about all movies, but I did put myself in a position for a while where I was just Snyder content, and I in the last couple of months I've lessened that, and so that's my example of toxicity. There is toxicity, but I'd be lying if I said that Snyder fans are the only ones that attack me. I have a lot of Geeks and Gamers fans that attack me a lot of the times. I tend to criticize Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I criticize Nerdrotic. I criticize The Quartering. I criticize a lot of these anti-SJW channels, so I get criticism overall. So it's not like the Snyder fandom is the only toxic side. There's Star Wars fans who are massively toxic, and there are Marvel fans who are massively toxic. But that's not the debate to be had. The debate is Zack Snyder's message. If I'm to bet on it, I don't think the Snyderverse will ever be restored. If I'm gonna bet on it, if someone told me, you gotta bet all these cards, all these McFarlane cards that come in the toys. I got a Cyborg right there. I got Steppenwolf. I got Superman, and I got Batman. My Darkseid one, I think, is in my wallet. If I'm wrong, I could be wrong about that, but it's probably in my wallet. But the question has to be asked. I don't think the Snyderverse will ever be restored. Am I saying it's impossible? No, and I don't want to be clipped out. I know some people are probably going to clip me out and put me on a Film God video. Just kidding. My channel's too small for that. But if I'm to bet on it, okay, I don't think it will happen. But I don't think it's wrong for certain fans to say that they want to get the Snyderverse. Hashtag restore Snyderverse. I'm fine with that as long as we're doing it in a positive way. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, if you're hashtag restore the Snyderverse, then you're toxic and you don't understand how Hollywood works. Haha. I always hear that. You don't understand how Hollywood works. Dude, the Snyder Cut is one of the biggest examples on Hollywood can change its mind. And also, let's stop using the term Hollywood. Hollywood is too vague of a term. I mean, this isn't Hollywood. Obviously, Disney's not involved in this. Obviously, Fox Studios is not involved with this, although that's Disney. But this is Warner Bros. Discovery. That's an issue of theirs. And, Hollywood, we've seen the impossible happen. We live in a world where Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro. We live in a world where Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock. We live in a world where Jared Leto came back as Joker and is now playing a Morbius in a Marvel film. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Now, yes, if I'm to put a percentage on this, I think it's a 10% chance the Snyderverse gets restored. 10% chance. And even if it does, let's say they let Zack Snyder do Justice League Part 2, I'll say this right now. I think they're going to play it safe and they're going to be like, hey, look, if your movie flops, we're not doing Part 3. End of discussion. Which I think is fine. I think it's fine with that. But I am very skeptical. But one of the biggest questions is, why are we criticizing? Why are we attacking people who are wanting to support this movie? Now, yes, if you're someone who's just Snyderverse content and you hate anything else and you personally want the Snyder fans to just be pro-Snyder and that's it. No, because look, at the end of the day, yes, while I'm a Zack Snyder fan, he's not even my favorite filmmaker. I prefer Steven Spielberg. I prefer Christopher Nolan. There's a lot of other filmmakers I prefer. I'm a bigger DC fan than I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I've loved DC before Snyder was here, and I'll love it even after. I'm a bigger movie fan than anything. I love movies more than I love Zack Snyder. But I'm so sick and tired of seeing people say, if you're pro-Snyderverse, you don't understand Hollywood. And, you see, statistically, technically, all these nerd talks. And I always hate that. I hate that. And attacking people who just want to see the Snyderverse being restored is wrong. But the big question that really needs to be asked is, was Zack Snyder... Because RJ brought up a good point. And he said that Zack Snyder needs to address the toxic side of the fandom. And look, I agree with RJ in that point. I do think that the best thing Zack could do is come out, make a video, and say, look, guys, the Snyder fandom is about bringing positivity, bringing love, hashtag us united. We are better and stronger together. In fact, the entire film of Zack Snyder's Justice League was about this guy, Bruce Wayne, who lost all hope in the world, coming back and having his faith being restored in the most impossible way ever. He went from wanting to kill Superman just because he was powerful to wanting to bring him back at any means necessary. So, while yes, I agree with RJ, I do think Zack Snyder, the best thing he should do, the best thing he could do is come out, make a video. Doesn't even got to be a quick video. It can just be grab his phone and just be like, hey, look, the toxic side needs to stop. And look, if we want to continue, and whatever. Do I think he needs to? That's the big question. I don't think he needs to. Because even if he makes a message, I don't think it's going to change anything. Unless the only thing that could change is if he made a video and said, hey, I talked to Warner Bros. And look, we're restoring the Snyderverse. Like, that's the only time things will change. Because then everyone is going to be like, wow, this is crazy. Crazy to believe this is happening. But that's not the question. Look, when you're someone who's a big part of something, I do think you got to address bad things about certain things. On my YouTube channel, when I've been wrong, when I've said something dumb or stupid, I call myself out. Nobody calls myself out more than me. If you're someone who, like Bob Chapek, I recently criticized Bob Chapek a lot. And I do think Bob Chapek, the most stupid thing he did was decide not to go to D23, even though he's the face of the company and he's afraid to get booed. I do think if you're the face of something, you got to address certain things. But at the end of the day, you don't need to. And the Zack Snyder debacle, look, let's admit it. The Snyderverse stuff is not that as big as we think it is. Yes, we got millions of people. But let's admit this right now. We're not that big of a fandom. We're a big fandom, but we're not Marvel. We're not at the level of Marvel fandom. We're not at the level of Star Wars fandom. Although I don't think I ever want to be at Star Wars fandom level. But with that being said. So, at the end of the day, Zack Snyder, if I was Zack Snyder, I probably would make a video addressing it. But it's not a necessary thing, because it won't change anything. Toxic fans will be toxic, and positive fans will be positive. That's how the world works. That's how it happens. And it is what it is. And the whole cryptic message, I know I made this video be about the cryptic message. That's not the topic I wanted to go into. The topic was the whole pro versus anti-Snyder fans. And look, at the end of the day, we all got to get along. Because all film is subjective. Some people are going to love Zack Snyder's work. Some people aren't. And that's fine. Look, I praise Zack Snyder. I love almost all of his films. But I hate Sucker Punch. I really hate Sucker Punch. And a lot of people were telling me to watch the director's cut, and I eventually did. I still hate it. Probably even hated more, actually. And then Army of the Thieves, I didn't like Army of the Thieves. I didn't do a review on it on this channel because I was late to the party. But Army of the Thieves, I'm not a fan of Army of the Thieves. Army of the Dead, I thought it was alright. Army of the Dead Army of the Dead was a decent film, but I criticized that movie. I think that's one of Zack's worst projects. But even then, that's not the point. The point is, people need to understand that DC fans, or Zack Snyder fans specifically, are fans like everyone else. We're fans like Marvel fans. We're fans like Star Wars fans. We're fans like anybody else. So when we speculate and when we make rumors, why can't we? What's the problem if we do that? What's the issue? At the end of the day, we're just being what every fandom is. It doesn't even have to be movies. It can be music. It can be sports, whatever. Speculating, rumors, talking about it amongst ourselves. And when I hear people saying, stop talking about the Snyderverse, it's dead, bury it, you're just toxic. Dude, we're like you. Marvel fans like talking about the new Spider-Man movie. I mean, obviously I do. You guys know how much I talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, but But it's also like, why can't us Snyder fans talk about the Justice League Part 2 and 3? Don't tell us to stop. Don't tell us to stop speaking on this. Because at the end of the day, you claim to be against toxic fandom, yet that's toxic in and of itself. You're not going to tell a Marvel fan to stop talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. You're not going to tell a Star Wars fan to talk about Rogue Squadron. You're not going to tell a Game of Thrones fans to stop talking about Season 8 rewrites. You're not going to tell any of these other fandoms, so why are you telling us, the Snyder fans? And look, let me now finally get to the point. I know I've gone 20 minutes on, and I said this was going to be a long video, and I want to thank everyone who stayed tuned, but the cryptic message. Look, nobody here is right or wrong. Because at the end of the day, the only one who knows whether what's happening in this video, what he means by this video, is Zack Snyder himself. And maybe some people close to him. But the only person who knows is Zack Snyder's. And I think it's a stupid argument. It's just a clip of him showing a turkey. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm talking to both sides. I'm sorry, but this is a video of a freaking turkey. Move on. Talk about the Snyderverse or don't talk about it. Whatever it is. Have fun amongst yourselves. But it's a video about a turkey. And yeah, sure, it has the Final Crisis comic in the background. That don't mean anything, bruh. That don't mean anything. It's going to mean something when either it gets confirmed the Snyderverse is being restored or whether it's confirmed it's not happening. That's something to take seriously. Or if Zack Snyder maybe puts a hint and says, maybe he shows us a fan-edited poster of Justice League Part 2, maybe talk about that. But a turkey where a book is in the background, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but people don't put books in the background. I mean, you do see in the background, it's a big table. You put stuff there. And yeah, obviously, my thoughts on it is, while I think it's a stupid argument to be had, whether the video is him hinting at the Snyderverse or not, I'll admit, I don't think it's him hinting that it's happening. I think what it is, hey, I want to show people that I love DC and I love DC Comics, so I'm going to show them a comic book in the background. Why not? I mean, Zack Snyder is very, very aware that 80% of his fans are fans of his DCEU projects. But that's going to be it for today's video. First of all, I want to thank Max at Movie Madness Entertainment and Enosh at Poindexter Lounge for allowing me on their streams. This video is based on them, so I am in the comment sections. I am going to be pinning a comment of the links to those two videos. Y'all can go check it out. I was there for a little bit. And also shout out to RJ, because look, I actually like the points RJ made. I would like Zack Snyder to address toxicity. But I don't think as fans we should end this whole Snyder #restore Snyderverse. And even if you aren't pro Snyderverse, hey man, just let us. We're vibing here. We're vibing. We're chilling. We're just having fun. But overall, I hope things get better. I hope the Snyderverse is restored. And even if it's not, cool. We still got Flash. We still got the Pattinson Batman movie. At the end of the day, I'm a fan of movies. And really, I'm going to be honest, I do think the last couple of months I've been ignoring the Snyderverse stuff, mainly because I've been hyping up Spider-Man No Way Home too much. But hey, when that movie ends, actually I'm going to go straight into Matrix Resurrections, but then after that, I probably will get back into the Snyderverse fan. And I apologize to my subscribers who subscribe to me for Snyderverse content and I've not provided that. I do apologize for that sincerely. And I hope things can get better. I hope we can improve. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.